Master Splinter was a human sensei before the mutagen. Because think about it. What if everything we think we know about the origin of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is just simply backwards? Because, according to one hidden interpretation of this story, Master Splinter wasn't just a mutated rat. He may have been something way more dangerous, like a human ninja master is forced into hiding, and then transformed by mutagenic ooze and raising 4 turtles in the shadows of New York for a very specific reason. But once you connect the clues hidden across different versions of TMNT, one question starts to emerge, and it emerges a lot. Were the turtles actually the students, or were they just soldiers of a fallen master preparing for war? Because if you think about it, what was the purpose of that ooze? It's probably to fight something off, right? Which means Master Splinter was probably going to be a leader of some sort of a bunch of other mutant soldiers. And you could even argue that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are probably the first successful soldiers, because all the other ones are cooked. Any other mutated anything you see in the series or the saga or any of that, they just not as cold. Simple. Now, let's stick to the story that we were told, the sewer story. Because most fans know the classic story, a mysterious mutagenic ooze. It'll spill into the streets of New York and 4 baby turtles come into contact with it, and so does a small rat, right? Probably a huge rat because this is New York, but let's say small rat. The ooze mutates them into humanoid beings and the rat becomes Master Splinter. And then he raises the turtles in the sewers, teaching them the ways of ninjutsu. Super hard. But something about that story has always felt incomplete because Splinter doesn't act like an animal that suddenly gained intelligence. He behaves like someone who already lived a human life and it's just translating it. And not to knock on rats, but Splinter knows too much. Because think about it, Splinter isn't just wise, he's strategic, he's very disciplined and deeply philosophical. And to be that philosophical, we talked about it in the Transformers one, you gotta be some type of human as far as the origin, because being philosophical, at least deeply philosophical, that comes from living a human life. And in the 1990 film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he tells the turtles, a true ninja uses everything at his disposal, and that's not something a mutated pet rat would casually invent. That's the mindset of a trained warrior. Even more interesting, Splinter understands ancient martial arts philosophy. There's leadership and meditation. He trains 4 teenagers to fight an organized crime army like the Foot Clan. That's not instinct, that's experience. And the only way a mutated pet rat could have experience in something like that would be if they were human once before. Now let's talk about the Shredder connection. Because if you look closely, there's kind of this Optimus Prime, Megatron, Batman, Joker type of dynamic going on. You know, it's like this Spider-Man symbiote thing going on. It's like their rivalry just feels personal, and it's not like Predator versus enemy, but like 2 warriors with unfinished history. In many versions of TMNT, Splinter recounts the past as if he witnessed everything firsthand, not as an observer, but as someone who was directly involved. He doesn't just know Shredder, he understands how he thinks, almost like they fought before. Because how the other story goes is he was a pet of a master and he studied the master's moves in his little rat cage or whatever. And that's not the case. He's like directly involved in all these fights and recounts and everything. Now, here's where things get strange because there's the impossible training. There's training 4 turtles to become elite ninjas. That should just be impossible, right? Even for a master. Yet Splinter manages to turn them into warriors capable of fighting trained assassins. So much to where they can fight even the robotic versions of the Foot Clan if you go like the comics and stuff, which is crazy. And look at the way he teaches them. There's patience, discipline, honor. These are not random lessons. These are teachings of someone who has spent years inside of a ninja order. But if Splinter was just a rat that copied martial arts moves from his owner, then how did he master the philosophy behind them? The answer might be uncomfortable because maybe he didn't learn them as a rat. Because again, to have such a deep philosophical understanding, just in general, you have to have lived a human life to some degree for a certain amount of time, learned lessons like patience, discipline, and honor. Now, keep in mind, the mutagen in TMNT doesn't just mutate animals, it blends DNA, kind of like the Allspark and Transformers. Animals become human-like and humans become something else entirely, which raises an interesting possibility and brings me to my theory. What if Splinter didn't start as a rat? What if he started as a human ninja master who encountered the mutagen, and instead of turning into a humanoid turtle, he mutated into a humanoid rat? Not an animal gaining intelligence, but a human trapped in a different body, forced to disappear from the world above. And that'll honestly lead you to the question of why exactly are we hiding in sewers? But let's be real, we don't need to come on. If Splinter really was human once, then hiding in the sewers just makes too much sense. Because imagine what the world would do if they discovered a mutated ninja master living in New York. They would, and he's peak, he could kill you just with his tail. Governments would hunt him, scientists would experiment on him even more, and criminals would just try to control him. So Splinter disappears naturally, and in the darkness beneath the city, he finds something unexpected. 4 turtles touched by the same mutagen that changed him. 4 new lives, 4 chances to rebuild what he lost. And this makes sense when you think about it, because why train these turtles to be as deadly as far as ninjutsu goes as you are, right? What's the point of training these turtles? And it's like, there's that human side to him still there. He wants to, you know how parents would try to live through their kids? I feel like he had that, but he rationalized it by saying, you need to be protected because what they gonna do to us, family, is not gonna be friendly. So he trains them. And that honestly makes this theory even more special because it really opens up the umbrella of Master Splinter because it gets you to think he's less rat than anything else. He's more human than rat because he's so nice as a sensei. He's nasty. And then he's more of a dad than a sensei, right? So it's like he has such a caring way about his way of living. His philosophies are for a sturdy foundation. If you like what you're hearing, hit that like and subscribe. And if you didn't know in the comics, in The Last Ronin, when everybody dies, Master Splinter throws himself in front of Leonardo to protect Leonardo from a wave of like a cloud of arrows coming in. Master Splinter threw his body in front of Leonardo. Leonardo still got capped off, but that goes to show you how Master Splinter is. He's less rat than anything. He's more of a protector, more of a father, more of a sensei, and a guide, if not anything. It's kind of awesome. This theory is great. So here's the theory in full. My favorite part. Master Splinter was once a human ninja master connected to the same world as Shredder. At some point, he came in contact with mutagenic ooze. Instead of dying, he mutated into a humanoid rat. Unable to return to society, of course, he retreated into the sewers in New York. He then discovered 4 turtles who had also been mutated. And instead of abandoning them, like anyone else would probably do, he trained them. Not just to survive, but to become the ninja warriors he could no longer be. The turtles weren't random students, they were the legacy of a fallen master. And what's funny, at the end of the day, I don't even think Master Splinter even got what he truly wanted out of this. He wanted to be, in a sense, no pun, one of the best senseis ever, right? Master, have his legacy live on. But all he really did was find out how good of a person or dad, father figure he really is. And the more you stick with the Ninja Turtles, you really get to see, like, he just seems more like a dad than a sensei. It's like sensei is just part-time, and Master Splinter's his side hustle. It's kind of crazy. Even in the cartoons, comics, all of it. And if this theory is true, then the theory of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles isn't just about mutated animals learning martial arts, right? It's about a master who lost everything, passing his knowledge to the only family he had left. As Splinter said, I'm your father, your teacher, and your friend. But maybe there's one part he never told them, that before he was Master Splinter, he was a human warrior who refused to let the story end in the shadows. Because it's his story. And here's the part that makes this theory even more interesting. What if the Turtles never knew? What if the Turtles never knew the truth about Splinter's past? Because think about it. If Splinter really was once human, why would he tell them? To the Turtles, he isn't just a teacher, he's their father. And sometimes the strongest leaders carry secrets so their students don't have to. And they might see him differently. Because think about it, the Turtles, if they knew their master was once human, they might start asking a dangerous question. If the mutagen turned a human into a rat, what else could it turn someone into? Because we've seen the hog, we've seen the pig, and if you watch the movie, the cartoon movie, there's a bunch of like mutants and weirdos out here, but they're not nice like the turtles. So of course the question is going to arise, what else can we do with this? Or take even a step further, they might want to be human. They might try to get hold of it, be out in the streets, because you know their dying wish is just to be out in the streets and be accepted. So what's to stop them from reverse engineering some of the ooze and just trying to become human, potentially putting themselves in danger and killing themselves? Because at the end of the day, we all know Donatello is more than capable of reverse engineering anything, let alone finding a solution. The only thing is, Donatello isn't as smart as he thinks at times. So he messes up on a lot of things, but he's smart enough to make a lot of things happen and invent things. And I won't say he messes up on a lot of things, but anyways, the world sees the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as heroes hiding beneath New York, right? But maybe the real story has always been about the one who trained them, a master who lost his old life, a warrior forced to disappear, and even a father who turned 4 unlikely students into legends. As Splinter once said, you know, I love quoting everything, the true path of a ninja is not measured by victory, but by the wisdom passed to the next generation. And if that's true, then maybe the greatest secret of Master Splinter isn't that he's a rat. It's that he may have once been the most human of them all. Again, that's what makes his theory so awesome to me, because all this did by him becoming a rat was showcase how much of a human he really is. Now, at the end of the day, this is the mutation that changed everything, right? And maybe the biggest twist hidden in the story of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is that everyone focuses on the turtles, right? But the real mystery may have always been their master, Splinter. And that's why I want to showcase, because if this theory is true, again, the mutagen didn't just create heroes, it reshaped a warrior's destiny. And that's crazy. Like a human ninja master forced into the shadows, a mentor reborn in a form the world would never accept, and a father who turned 4 lost turtles into legends. Just the craziest chain of events, which raises that final question. If Splinter really was once human, did he train the turtles simply to protect New York? Or was he preparing them for the day they would have to face the one enemy who knew his past better than anyone? Shredder. So what do you think? Was Splinter always the mutated rat, or was he a fallen ninja master hiding in the greatest secret in TMNT history? Let me know your theory in the comments, and if you love deep dives and lore and all that, make sure to like, subscribe, and join the channel for more. And don't forget, there's something hiding in everything, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. Y'all stay smooth.
With the rats.
Then Hamato Yoshi is you!